Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining me today. It's a cold and rainy morning and our tripod broke. My little one got his hands on it and but regardless, I wanted to make a video. I felt called to make a video and I'm going to be holding the camera like I did in the last video. I apologize if there's any shakiness and a tripod is on its way. But I felt called to make this video, and it's a follow-up to last week's video. So you can check that out if you haven't seen that, which was a video on what I used to eat in a day. And the first thing I want to say is a massive thank you to all of you for your kindness and holding space for me to share vulnerably and your beautiful testimonials about your own journeys. It feels so good to create a space here that is loving and kind and supportive, and thank you for helping me do that. Thank you for your feedback and your comments. I got a question in the comment section from last video that I just wanted to answer straight away, and I don't usually do this. I get a ton of questions on my different social media sites. And that's part of the reason I created my membership program called Your Delicious Life, which is an incredible community of amazing people who are creating their delicious lives. And part of what I offer in that membership program is a monthly Q&A. The questions are always incredible from the members, and I love answering them. So if you're somebody who feels like you've got health, holistic life questions that you'd love answered on a timely fashion, consider the membership program. There are also other great things about it, but I'll leave a link to that program down below in the description box for you to think about and consider if it resonates with you. So my point with that is that I don't usually answer questions very quickly because I get so many of them, and I have a pretty amazing and busy schedule that I love, but prioritizing answering all the questions from YouTube, Instagram, Facebook is not one of them. That being said, this question was so great and felt like a wonderful follow-up to last week's video that I wanted to answer it and put a spin on it in a way. So I'm going to read you the question really quickly. Sorry, give me one moment. You might notice also my videos of late are not very edited, and that's just because, I'd rather spend time with my little one or doing other work things than editing. I think very edited videos can be absolutely beautiful, but I'd rather just show up and share with you my thoughts and inspiration and information than not do it because I don't have time to edit. So thank you for your patience around that. The question from Dr. Steele, thank you, is, do you ever feel like a part of you was left behind when you became vegan? Sometimes I struggle with the nostalgia of what the old foods represented rather than how they tasted, like going to a restaurant with my husband or having a dinner party with friends. I love this question, and why I titled this video the way I did is because of this question. So I'm going to share with you in this video 5 things that I don't miss about my old diet before I went vegan and raw, and 1 thing that I do miss and how I handle it. I will tell you right off the bat, the social aspect, restaurants, dinner with my beloveds is not one of the things I miss. And I'll explain to you that in a second, but I'm going to start with the thing that I do miss. And I'll be clear, it's actually something I miss less and less. It's a journey. It totally is a journey. And so I'm keeping it real and keeping it raw, as I love to do, and authentic as much as I can. One thing that I used to miss a lot, and I miss less and less, is the taste of the food. And I'll be very clear, it's not the taste of fish. It's not even the taste of milk. The animal products, I don't miss the taste. But I do know there were some foods that probably had maybe some cream in them, some animal products. That first hit, and I use that word because that's what it felt like. It felt like a hit of white bread, processed cereal, sugary foods. I mentioned a few of those things, what I was eating in that last video, so you can check out. It was like a hit. And I know now I use that word because it felt like a drug. It was a drug for me to take those foods in because I would get numbed out from my very difficult to handle emotions, whether I was feeling them consciously or subconsciously. So when I would have these cravings for those foods back in the day, I wasn't satiated by eating a lot of bananas or delicious persimmons as I do now when I'm truly hungry. I would need very specific foods, and I think it's because I was using them as a drug, and because of their makeup, they were like a drug, at least for me. That first hit, that first taste, because usually after a few bites, I would stop feeling so good, and then I was just chasing that first high. It's like a drug. So in the beginning of my journey in raw veganism, I would definitely have cravings and miss that taste. And I will tell you that once in a rare moon, I will miss the taste. I'm going to keep it real. Here's what I do and what has helped so much. I close my eyes and I go back to that specific situation. So I'll give you an example. Eating Korean pancakes in a South Korean restaurant I used to love on the East Village. I would go after a very hard hospital shift, and I'd bring a beautiful novel I was reading. And I would open the novel, order Korean pancakes with spicy sauce, and I would eat. And I would eat while reading. I talk about this in my last video, mindless eating. So when that missing of the taste comes, I just close my eyes and I put myself back in that situation and visualize. And I visualize eating that food and how I would feel numbed or satiated or better for a moment. I let myself, I accept that craving, I accept that missing of the taste. I have the experience. And then, and I usually don't have to remind myself, but then I remind myself if I have to, of all the things I don't miss about that situation, which was usually the feeling I would have afterwards. Overstuffed, sick, the headache the next morning, the craving, more cravings afterwards. So that's how I manage if and when I miss the taste. And that's the only thing. And I know now that's because that taste is usually was almost engineered because it's processed food, it's processed additives, it's possibly MSG. There's a reason that taste felt like a drug. The missing of the taste is less and less these days, but I don't mind even if I have it. Because again, I just let myself have the experience in my mind and then it just goes away. And then I address my emotions if I have emotions that are coming up. It's helpful to do that practice and then to remind myself what I don't miss. So now I want to share with you 5 things I don't miss about that diet, about eating the way I did before shifting my diet. And reminding yourself of what you don't miss can be really helpful to navigate what you do miss. One of the things I don't miss, there are many things I don't miss, and the list is so long, but to keep the video at a length that is honors your time and honors you being in the world and not just on this video with me, I'm going to share with you 5 things. First thing is I don't miss the social aspect of eating that way. So when I would eat that way, I talk about eating alone with a book, but a lot of times I would go with a friend or somebody to a restaurant and eat these foods. And for me, I want to be very clear, this is my experience. I don't miss the social aspect because for me, my attention was split between that person and my whole preoccupation with the food, making sure that I got my drug, the food in, making sure I had enough of that drug in. My neuroses around, this is too much food, this is not enough food, where am I going to get my next hit? I really wasn't really mindful of that other person in the way that I am now. Now when I'm with my loved ones, I am so present and it feels so good to do that, to offer my full presence and not have it split between them and my whole food issue. So I don't miss the social aspect. If and when I go to restaurants, and that's few and far between, I go to a vegan one because I only want to support plant foods and plant food-based restaurants and businesses. And if I can go to a raw vegan one, that's even amazing, and I treat myself to that. But I prefer to make food at home. I prefer to create beautiful food at home that's living and nourishes me. And then I prefer to meet my friends and my loved ones on a hike in nature over a cup of lovely tea. So I actually have preferred my social life after shifting my diet. That's number one. I don't miss the social aspect. One other quick thing to say about that, and I could make a whole video on that. And in fact, I did make a video on calling in the one, I believe it was called, which was about how I actually drew in my beloved, my sweetheart, who is an incredible human being, who is so loving and adores me. I was able to call in that kind of relationship. I know partly because I did all the work around releasing unhealthy eating habits. And so I just want to say that it's when we do this work, we are able to actually create relationships that are healthier. Second thing I don't miss are the animal products. I don't miss eating food that has the vibration of cruelty. And that, again, is my personal opinion. And I want to say I honor and I respect all of our journeys. I was once somebody who ate animal products and wasn't conscious of the cruelty around the industries. And I have videos around that, and it's very easy to find videos around that if you are willing to take the blinds off and look. Earthlings, Cowspiracy, What the Health. These are just a few of the documentaries that can be incredibly eye-opening. The Cove. I don't miss putting that vibration of cruelty and himsa, not ahimsa, but violence into my body. I don't miss supporting those industries. I don't miss having another being killed on my behalf. The third thing I don't miss is the waste. I mentioned in the last video that I often would order in, eat out. Ordering in, I look back and I think about all the plastic and probably even styrofoam, but all the plastic bags, the plastic containers, the plastic spoons, all the things that came and went into feeding my addiction through the takeouts and the ordering ins. And many times I would go into the cycle of eating, overeating, binging, and then I would get to maybe the middle of a dinner and I would say, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want this food anymore. And I would throw it in the garbage and I would just toss it. The waste of that food, but also the waste of mental space and energy and emotional energy dealing with this kind of lifestyle. I don't miss the waste. The fourth thing I don't miss, I'm going to check my notes. The pain, the physical and mental and emotional pain. I struggled with asthma, with eczema that would take over swaths of my skin, including my neck, and I would try to hide with scarves. The discomfort that I would feel when I was in dance class, and I knew I could do that jeté, that huge leap or a turn or go to the floor quickly, but my knees would hurt. Or I would get winded because of my asthma, and I'd be so frustrated because I knew I had it in me, but basically because of the food I was eating, I couldn't do it. And now in my 40s, I have an incredible physical capacity, and my dancing is the best it's ever been because it's been years now of feeding it the fuel it deserves and that it's designed for. Plant foods, whole plant foods, and in my case, living whole plant foods. So I don't miss the pain. The physical pain, I would wake up after eating and binging and having headaches. And yeah, I just have so much compassion for what I went through, and for any of you who might be going through this. You're not alone. You are not alone. Don't give up trying if you are trying. And if you're not trying, try. And there are people out there, not just me, who have healed from this and who have things to offer you and suggestions to offer you that might be of resonance, that might help you. And the last thing I want to say that I don't miss, fifth thing, is just living beneath my potential. It is amazing to be living my best life and to wake up every day with such gratitude and excitement to dance, to create healing dances, to meet with my clients and patients and offer them my best, to offer my beloved husband and my sweet loved child my best, and know that I can because I feel my best. And because I feel my best, because I'm feeling myself again well, that I can be my most loving self because I'm healthy. When you're not healthy, it's hard to be loving. I know that from experience. And so it feels so good to be living at my potential. And I'm not perfect. It's a constant journey, but it feels good to have the tools and to keep up leveling. So those are 5 things I don't miss. And the one thing that I do and how I navigate with that with greater and greater ease. If you're looking for more support on succeeding on a plant foods diet or a raw plant foods diet, check out my webinar down below. Consider joining Your Delicious Life, my membership program. Check out my book, if you have not gotten it yet, called Delicious Healing, in which I share my journey and the strategies and practices I have used and that I share with clients and patients on living one's best life. And leave down in the comments below something you do not miss about your old life, if you have left your old life behind and you've moved and you are moving into your best life. I send you so much love and support wherever you are in your journey. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Share it with anyone you think might benefit. Subscribe if you like, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.